Welcome back to Beyond Belief. I'm your host, Tyler Redman, and I am so excited for you to be here today, guys. Oh my goodness, is today a special day. The guest
Mhm.
I have, you are not going to believe. She is going to blow your mind. She is an anointed prayer warrior. She is a coach. She is a woman of God that is out there doing the thing. She is an author. The number of things that this woman is involved in is countless, and she's going to share so much with us today. She's helped thousands in their weight loss journey, and she can help you just as much as she can help me. I have the one, the only Miss Whitney Wheeler. Whitney, how are you?
Hello, Tyler. Thank you so much for that beautiful introduction. I definitely appreciate you. I am doing wonderful. How are you doing?
I'm doing absolutely great, Whitney. Absolutely great. Go ahead.
You're good. Go ahead.
Oh, I will be honest with all the guests today. For the first time in my life, I've made all these jokes. Once you hit 30, that's when things happen. And I'm not gonna lie, Whitney, today my back has absolutely been the death of me, but I am pushing through. So Whitney, what I want to go ahead and do, I ask every single guest of Beyond Belief this
Mhm.
question, and it is, what is your biggest Beyond Belief moment with God? Or, because I know a lot of my guests have so many, just one of your favorite ones you'd love to share.
Oh, Tyler, I would definitely have to say, first and foremost, just so your audience know, my name is Whitney S. Wheeler. I am the Anointed Coach. What do? I help people break through limitations, overcome obstacles, and be forever transformed. And that is the perfect segue to go into that question. For me, my mind has been absolutely blown by God simply through the power of my own personal testimony, the things that I have been able to conquer and achieve and press through and persevere through. One of the biggest, most noticeable changes, of course, is my weight loss transformation. I used to be 543 pounds. I was on 11 different medications and I was filled with so many different levels of addictions. So for me, the fact that God has not only delivered me, got me off of 11 different medications, my mind is blown because I've been able to duplicate that process. Being able to see that it wasn't just about me, but God has allowed this amazing weight loss journey of losing 330 pounds to be duplicated with other people. That's mind blowing to watch other people lose the weight and get set free.
Absolutely. And you know what? I think, Whitney, what I love about your testimony is it's truly it doesn't end with you. You are such a great example of taking your testimony to others and then getting results, not just in a relationship with Christ, because there's so many you've brought to the church. I think just look at our church and you can see that, but also to that weight loss and to overcoming your old self and stepping into what you're meant to be.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, Tyler, to be completely honest, if I have to be transparent, for me, I thought it was so much about losing weight. And I remember I started my weight loss journey in 2012.
Hmm.
2012, I was just at a rock bottom moment. I learned that I had to face exactly what the struggling with obesity was. I watched obesity literally rip my world apart. I lost my mother and my grandmother at the hands of obesity in their early 40s. So for me, I just assumed that those were my cards. I just assumed that obesity was my portion. I tell people I was born obese, right? So that was always my portion for that. But it's been such an amazing joy when I finally decided to take this weight loss journey seriously. I didn't know, Tyler, that people would be attracted to watching someone overcome something like that. When I started sharing my journey, people just naturally started gravitating to it. People who were smaller than me started gravitating towards it. And I remember one of the biggest things for me was I was that person who sat around and watched the weight loss journeys.
Mhm.
And I was so addicted to just finding people's weight loss journey and following their journey. And Tyler, what I began to realize is that number one, people wasn't open, honest, and transparent.
Right.
People were posting these meals and these incredible before and after pictures, but the missing formula was the how. Or even better yet, how did you get there? Why did you get there? What was the whole point of it all, right? So when got started, I started doing everything that everybody else was doing. I started making my brown rice and getting wheat breads and all of this cool stuff. And Tyler, I was off the chain. And guess what happened? I didn't lose a pound for 30 days. I'm talking about going to the gym and stuff. And I was like, what? And it just ripped the band-aid off of all these people that was trying to make it seem like this was just such a wonderful experience. So I decided to start sharing my journey publicly. And I just said I wanted to be open, honest, and transparent. And I named myself Big Girl Working Out because people wasn't showing the plus size people working out back then. I
Right.
like to say I'm one of the pioneers to this weight loss thing, right? But just being able to share and allowing people to see from the beginning. I have followers who have been following me since 2012, and they're like, wow. So it wasn't just about me conquering that, and they got to see the levels of perseverance. They got to see what it really means to start something to stick with it, right? So just that sharing piece was the thing that opened it up to get people to even trust me. And then once they really began to see the transformation, it was easy for people to get on board and want to make
Right.
those changes. Oh, I'm
Uh,
sorry, no, want to.
no, go ahead.
Okay. But yeah, so that's pretty much what started that. And people, and I always gave God the glory for every step of it. The good parts, the bad parts, the weight loss, the gaining the weight back, the working out. I always gave him the glory for it. So when it came to people losing the weight, they were also attracted to the faith part. So it went from people asking me how to lose weight to, can you pray with me? And that's how the two began to merge together. People began to really see, like, wait, it's weight loss, but you were on 11 different medications. You're off of all of these different medications and different things
Mhm.
of that nature. So I tell people they work together. You can do nothing without God, right? I tell people my
Absolutely.
journey is from Him. Mm,
Absolutely. And that's one of the things I love so, so much about you, Whitney. And I feel like I'm repeating that phrase so much, but there is so much to
mm.
love about you is it's so easy to find the people out there that have shared a journey similar to yours, but they always skip the hard parts. It's always the highlights of what went well. It's never the hey, things aren't going well right now, but this is where I'm at. And you keep it so real with your audience, and I think it's why you have captivated such a large majority and why people continue to reach out to you for assistance because you do keep it real and it's so so needed in society today.
It really is, Tyler, because I tell people, I don't know why people are afraid of transparency.
Hmm.
People don't like to be transparent. People don't like to be open. People don't like to share the raw, but it's so important, especially we just gonna keep it real here, Tyler. Let's just relax and keep it real, right? To be completely honest, people don't want to talk about the obesity part. People
Right.
don't want to talk about how uncomfortable it was. I didn't want to talk about the fact that I was so heavy that I had to roll out the bed and use my elbows to set up. People don't
Right.
want to hear about the fact that my husband, he's on a weight loss journey as well. We were the 1,000-pound couple. So I was 543 pounds. He was 596 pounds. My husband and I was in a California size king bed and we were taking over the entire bed. My
Hmm.
husband and I used to have to tag team sleep because we both would stop breathing in our sleep. So we would listen to each other and take turns sleeping. People don't want to talk about that. People don't want to talk about going to the grocery store and your back hurting and you got to lean over the cart. People don't want to talk about not going to certain places and restaurants because you don't know if they're going to have a chair sturdy enough. People don't want to talk about the back pain and avoidance of going certain places because you don't even know if your body's going to be able to sustain that. That's why I'm so open, honest, and transparent because people have to know that it's possible to come out even if you at a rock bottom moment. Even when you're in those moments that it feels like there's no return and God still shows up, right? In
Mhm.
2018, Tyler, I went to the hospital. I had a massive headache and I started getting really blurry in my vision. This was 2000, I'm sorry, this was 2018. And this was
Okay.
right here in Springfield, Missouri. And I went to that hospital and the first thing they did was my blood pressure. My blood pressure
Mhm.
was 282 over 190. And then they started because they just assumed I was having a stroke because when your levels get that high, it's really dangerous, right?
Right.
And on that, at that moment, the doctor, after they did my blood pressure, next thing the doctor did was sent the nurse in with the roll-on scale. It was a portable scale, and they got me on the scale. I was 543.8.
Mhm.
I would never forget that day. And what happened after I got on the scale, Tyler? The doctor came back in, mind you, no medications, nothing. The doctor came back in and told my husband, well, her weight exceeds our hospital equipment. So right now we're going to send her home.
Mm.
There was nothing. There was no medication. There was no remedy to help. My headache was still there. I was still blurry. At this point, I'm literally feeling like I'm going blind. And it's late at night, and the drive home, I just remember telling my husband where my insurance paper was because, Tyler, I could feel death.
Right.
I just knew. And one thing the doctor had said was if I didn't lose weight, I wasn't going to live to see 40.
Mm.
Not knowing that I lost my mother and grandmother in their 40s. So when I heard that, I just knew it was going to be a reunion. And it was at that moment when we got home, I went to our private bathroom and I just began to cry out to God. I tell people I got delivered in the bathroom on the toilet as a joke, right? But I was literally in the bathroom and it was that moment when I cried out to God. I said, God, you're not a God of a second chance because I had lost 100 pounds and gained it back. You're not a God of a third chance. I lost 150 pounds and gained it back. God, you're not a God of a third chance. You are a God of another chance. If you allow me to wake up, I am going to tell this story to the world. And Tyler, when I woke up, I began to tell the world my story. And I said it was going to be unfiltered, the good, the bad, and ugly. Because the reality of it is, if you are over 450 pounds and you live in Springfield, Missouri, there's not a hospital equipment that can accommodate you. When my husband went to the hospital in 2019, they had to order him a customized bed because they didn't have a bed to carry him at the hospital. Sometimes we think we have that escape of a hospital, but when you get to such a rock bottom moment, hospital isn't an option. The only thing or the only resource I had at that time, Tyler, was God. So when I woke up, it was an honor to wake up. It was an honor to be able to breathe. It was an honor to be able to do that. So I knew at that moment it wasn't about me because if it was about me, I could have left that night. But the fact
Mhm.
that he woke me up, I had to go and help people. I had to tell the world. I had to birth my book out. I had to let people know it ain't got to be like this. So I got delivered at that moment, Tyler. But guess what? I
Mhm.
was still 500 pounds.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and you know what? I think that is so important, especially to those who are new to their faith. They think, I got saved, everything's perfect. No, now you get to walk out that salvation, and it's the same when you have those beautiful, beautiful breakthroughs like you had in that moment. You then have to walk it out. Now you have God supporting you, but you still have to do the hard.
I tell people all the time when it comes to, because I like to think my weight loss journey was supernatural. And I
Mhm.
tell people, people think supernatural was unrealistic. No, what supernatural means is when you are doing what you're naturally supposed to do,
Right.
showing up, making the preparations of, making the right food choices and all of that. What happens when you are in alignment with God and He's actually you've yielded and surrendered this to Him too. We like to pray for everything, Tyler. We pray for money. We
Mhm.
pray for this. We pray for spouses. We pray for new cars. Pray for your health. Pray for God to break whatever's on your life that's causing you to be stuck in that coffin, which is the name of my book, Walking Out of the Coffin, because that's what it was. When you're struggling with obesity, you're literally stuck in a coffin, right? And
Mhm.
I began to realize through my journey, when I used to ask God to help me lose weight and nothing ever happened, it's because obesity is nothing more than a symptom, Tyler.
Mhm.
When you are struggling, the world don't realize nobody was called to be stuck in a 300, 400, 500 pound body. That doesn't make sense, right? So God began to show me what affected things look like. So when something is affected in your skin, if something got affected right now, the first thing it's going to do is swell up. It
Right.
has because it's pus, it's infected on the inside and it swells up. Obesity is nothing but a symptom that something on the inside isn't right. Something's causing you to swell. And I had to learn to identify what was really on the inside that was causing the weight to reflect on the outside. Those are the things that people don't talk about. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Absolutely. Well, Whitney, you mentioned it, so let's bring that out. You
mhm,
are a self-published author of an
mhm.
absolutely phenomenal book. I think every member of my family owns your book, actually. Uh, I'm not. There's a copy in my room just over there. I can't get to it right now, but literally, I think every member of my family owns this book. Tell me about that process. Tell me what's in that book. Why should we? Why? Well, my whole family has it, but why should everyone else's family also have that book?
Yes. So, Tyler, the name of my book is Walking Out of the Coffin. It's my journey of weight loss and
Mhm.
deliverance. It's a top seller book. I've been all worldwide,
Worldwide.
Africa, Netherlands, oh, everywhere, Canada, everywhere has the book. But the reason why this book is impactful is because it's a blueprint.
Mhm.
I don't just share my story, right? People can talk, 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 talk. I tell a little bit of the background of the why and how I began this journey of obesity and the things that happened, yes. But what I provide in this book is the actual game plan.
Right.
When it comes to weight loss, people don't realize it's very expensive when it comes to like personal trainers and specific customized meal plans and all of that. When
Mhm.
I was getting started on my journey, I was a college student. I didn't have money like that, right? So I couldn't afford to invest $1,000 a month for trainers and stuff. So this book is literally raindrops from heaven. God gave me the blueprint specifically for me that was going to help me lose weight. But then I realized too that everybody's body is not the same.
Right.
So in my book, not only do I provide the resources for you to get started, I have three really solid food plans. One food plan is just for people who don't need a lot of structure in their life. It's the 5-step plan. I tell them exactly how to eat just by making a couple changes. We lost 10,000 pounds together. My organization lost 10,000 pounds in
Wow.
2023 following that plan alone. And then we have the flour and sugar elimination plan. This is for people who need structure. This is the plan
Mhm.
that if you come through my coaching services, I'm going to put you on. This is a plan that gets you back in alignment. It helps to unbreak your eyes from how you look at food. You weigh and measure your food. And then I have the big girl working out plan, which is a plan of working out and clean eating. I provide you with grocery lists.
Mhm.
So all you have to do is take the book, go to the grocery store. This is for my people. Maybe you've never been on the weight loss journey. You don't know how to grocery shop, meal prep, meal ideas. I tell you for 30 days what to eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I give you your cheat meals. I give you your snacks. I give you your grocery list. This is going to really give you that foundation. So a plan like that for 30 days to eat, that's very expensive, right? But I include that in my book. And then
Mhm.
working out, I teach people how to properly work out. So when you get the book, I tell you exactly what to do when you go to the gym. There's no guessing. I tell you Day 2 is leg and shoulder day. You're gonna work those areas. So it's really something for everyone, regardless of where you are on your journey. It definitely helps, and it's been life changing for a lot of people.
Absolutely. And I recently had the one and only Miss Natasha Olivia
I
here
love
on the
her.
podcast recently. And, she mentioned she's been a huge follower of yours as well. One thing I didn't get to ask her, do you think is diet one of the main things physically that people do need to focus on the most when it comes to that weight loss journey? Or where's that area that people need the most discipline?
It depends on where you are in your journey. So for
Hmm.
someone who's just getting started, like for example, Tyler, let's say yourself, right? Let's say you're
Right.
just getting started. Your main focus is going to be the discipline of the kitchen.
Hmm.
That's what the focus is going to be. 90% of the weight loss is going to occur with what you're eating.
Right.
Now, with that being said, you have to also master the art of pivoting. What does that mean? So, after you're on a certain food plan for a certain amount of time, when I first got started on my journey, I used to be at my breakfast, and I'm talking about the weight would slide off, Tyler. I was eating 3 eggs, 5 pieces of bacon, 3 sausage patties, a yogurt, and I'm talking, and I could hold all of that, and because of the size I was at, it worked.
Right.
I could lose the weight. But then when I lost 150 pounds, that same meal wasn't gonna make the pounds fall off, right? So I had to learn to pivot. So working out is always gonna be your strength. When you go to the gym, that's gonna make sure your core is tight. That's gonna give you energy. I was one of my clients was making a joke. We had a outreach at our church, right? So
Mhm.
we went to go serve pass out groceries. And for one of my non-skill victories, I just walked around with no problem. And people were like impressed with that. But because I work out, I didn't have to prepare to do that. I walk every day. So when you do it every day and you work that muscle, you can adapt that in every situation. So
Right.
you have to know your body. You got to study the numbers. You got to see when the numbers are slowing down. You got to see what you got to do. Carb cycling helps with that as well. But I also do products too. Products is something that helps me because I just believe in this season it don't have to be hard, right?
Mhm.
Sometimes we can go into a suddenly and an easy season. So for me, that's what it's like, but I don't recommend that's for everyone. Like I said, it just depends on when you're getting started. But food in the kitchen, you gotta get that right first. You gotta learn what works for your body.
Absolutely, absolutely. Those are such great tips, Whitney. Now, you're also a coach and an anointed coach at that. And I think it's so clear to see how much your relationship with Christ is through your journey. When you're coaching individuals, how large of an impact is saying, "Hey, you need to be building this spiritual life. You need to be having that one-on-one relationship with God in your weight loss journey." How much is that coming across in your coaching?
So my coaching program is weight loss and deliverance. So
Mhm.
the clients I've since I launched my coaching program, I've brought in a little over 300 people just through my actual program
Oh,
itself.
wow.
Yeah, God is good, right? And for whatever reason, Tyler, God has set me aside to be able, like, out of those people, about 1/4 of those
Mhm.
are trusted leaders. So I've had the privilege to coach prophets, apostles, first ladies, leaders, and some of them don't have any other voice but the voice that I can pour into. So I
Wow.
tell people what you see as a coach is different as Whitney because I'm very firm in that. But very, I'm not an easy coach. But that's the reason why people entrust me because you have to have someone that can not only that understands the fight, but that's
Mhm.
not going to be scared to tell you, come on, we got to get it together. And that's what I love about that part. And in my contract, because it's a full program contract, I do a one-on-one session prior to see where you are on your spiritual journey.
Okay.
And my program is very strict. So even if you're not a Christian, that's okay. But part of the guidelines, you can't drink alcohol, you can't smoke, you can't use any substances, you can't even use products. We get to the nitty gritty. And doing that, God shows up in every session.
Right.
Like it is mind blowing how God shows up and just gives everybody this this tailored organic program that's nothing but God. People are like, oh my God, this is wild. But yeah, so he shows up. He is the program.
I love that he is the program. Now, is say someone's watching right now, they're interested in Coach Whitney getting set up on that. What does that look like? Is it that one-on-one session and then group sessions? Is there a mixture? What does that coaching program look like?
Yes, so I run the program. It's a 90-day program. So I
Okay.
do it about 3 to 4 times a year. It just depends. Sometimes I run 2 classes at once. But
Mhm.
it's a private class. I don't have more than 12 people typically at a time. It just depends on
Right.
how we do that. But what that's gonna look like, you're going to have a personal one-on-one session with me once a week that you
Mhm.
schedule at your time. We also have group sessions once a week where we all come together, everyone in your particular class come together, and I do a weekly teaching on on the deliverance part. So we actually take the word itself and I apply it to their journeys with
Mhm.
different tools and strategies, and every class is catered and tailored differently. And then also there's a private group chat. So
Okay.
every single day you're responsible. You post your food, you post your meals. We have that daily accountability and you have direct access to me for 90 days.
I love that, and accountability is so important. Um, who did you find when you were going kinda starting this journey? Who was kind of your accountability partner? Who helped hold you accountable that helped you kind of push through?
So that would be my bestie Tanisha. Oh my goodness, it was 2012, and she would come to the gym with me like
Okay.
every day. We were at the gym, and then when I got to Springfield, one of the people was actually a member of my church. Her name was Denise, and we would
Okay.
work out every day. We met at Planet Fitness, and mind you, she did not have a weight problem at
Mhm.
all. She was just small, right? But it's just God always had someone there. And even though we were on two totally different journeys, just having that familiar face to
Right.
see in the gym with me was cool. But I'm gonna be honest, I'm Lone Ranger. I do not like workout partners, workout buddies, or anything. I have to build that consistent build myself. Cause what
Mhm.
ends up happening, Tyler, if you start your routine off with a buddy, if your buddy don't go to the gym, you're probably not gonna go to the gym. Your
Right.
buddy fall off, you fall off, right? You In order for you to uplift, it has to be a balance. Someone has to be high enough to pull you up. If not, you're going to get pulled down. Trust me. So I
Mhm.
try to keep it solo dolo unless it's like a Natasha, she the seated cardio queen and stuff like that. We'd link up, and some of my clients. But my personal journey, I like to do it on my own.
Okay, and I think that makes sense. You're so right. It's there's something great. I know when you have those buddies you can work out with, but if you're relying on them to be there at the gym, it's just an excuse. You're giving yourself an excuse for oh they're not there, so I don't have to be there.
Uh-huh. It's
Absolutely.
always been like that, always been like that, so I try to be very careful.
Fair
Yes.
enough. Well, Whitney, you have something that is very not unique with most of my guests on Beyond Belief. You also are a mentorship institute. It's crazy. Almost every guest I've invited so far, including my brother, we've all been a part of Mentorship Institute with Prophetess. How
Mhm.
much has that helped you grow? I know we all use it in a different form, but just share some importance of why mentorship is so important.
Oh my goodness. So for me, mentorship, I'm different. So
Mhm.
for me, my mentorship sessions, I went in with a direct plan and direct mission.
Right.
So for me, it was all strictly for business professional development. Our prophetess is so amazing. And Mentorship Institute, she can meet you where you are in whatever area. But I wanted to pull off of the administrative side
Right.
of that and a lot of the nuggets. So when I started mentorship with her, I had one follower on Facebook and
Oh,
I
wow.
did weekly. I did for for almost 3 years, I went to mentorship weekly.
Oh, wow.
That was an investment, right? But
Yeah.
every week that I went, the growth, like it was tangible fruit, because I'm quick
Mhm.
to apply. So sometimes you can get really good advice, but if it falls on deaf ears, right? So everything, all of the nuggets we discovered together, just pulling from those sessions, I was able to complete my book. It was mentorship that helped me to create those specific timelines. It was mentorship that took me from this hobby of losing weight to actually capitalizing and making it an actual business.
Right.
Mentorship has been a mind-blowing experience. It was an unofficial mentorship session with my coaching program. I tell people my coaching program is an exact extension of mentorship, just more
Mhm.
centered to directly deliver it. Because that anointing is there, right? But you
Right.
should get that type of impartation. So anyone who if you're looking for clarity, mental clarity for someone who is prophetic, who understands the voice of God and who's not afraid to give you straightforward, straight shooting answers. That's it. Everybody can't pour into me, but she's able to pour into me because I know that she's not scared of me.
At all. At all.
So she pours in. So it's been great.
Well, and I think that's one of the things I love about mentorship. It truly is you get from mentorship what you take from it. She will place you and position you in whatever way the Lord really leads her and that you need. And it's really up
Mhm.
to you. And I love how it's so clear how much instruction has been passed on and you've taken it and ran. And honestly, you're inspiring to me, Whitney, and I don't think I've ever told you that. So.
Don't make me cry, Tyler. Look. But you're an
Don't go crying now.
inspiration. Like, you are such an inspiration, Tyler. Like, you have no idea that how much of an atmosphere setter you are. Like, even watching you praise at church is like, wow, you can see the
Mhm.
growth and that transformation. So thank you for showing up.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I appreciate that, and I have to be honest, I've never been good at accepting compliments, so that's one of the things I feel like in this season I'm having to really work on.
Eh, I'm be complimenting you every day, all day.
Oh boy, I started it there. But no, I think one thing as a whole, I don't think we show appreciation as much to those around us. And Whitney, I appreciate you so much to see how much faith and just honor and appreciation you put towards not just our leaders because everyone tends to do that towards our leaders, but even the individuals all throughout our church and just even your own groups and everything. You are such a great example of how to live um, such an honorable life. And I truly appreciate that I can call you a friend and I have you in my life as an example.
Oh, Taylor, I told you do not make me cry on this podcast. But I appreciate that because I'm a big believer in um, just showing up.
Mhm.
Just showing up. And sometimes, people do strategic things
Right.
intentionally with a specific outcome. And I've just been in this place recently where I feel like I just woke up. And I'm like, wow, God, look at everything that's happening. So
Mhm.
I do understand, the humility with that and being humble and just showing up. And sometimes people like you, I do kind of struggle with compliments too. You'll be surprised, right? It can be uncomfortable sometimes, or like still kind of just, oh, okay. I don't know. It's weird sometimes, or when people see me like out, like I was at the Oasis and one of the people that worked there was a follower of mine. And it was like, oh
Oh,
my
wow.
gosh, I was like, wait, put on, I was like confused, how excited that she was to see me. And I was like, wow, I was more excited about meeting her, that excitement. So I definitely, get that part. But it's an honor just to be able to serve, man. It's an honor to be able to help people because this fight is not easy. The
Mhm.
fight of deliverance is not easy. To be able to maintain whatever it is that God is working on in your life, whatever dark seasons you've been in before, and to watch God pull you out of
Mhm.
that and carry you into a transformation. When you know you've really been delivered, it don't matter what it is. You can be delivered from alcohol, you can be delivered from marijuana, food, whatever your thing is, right? When you cigarettes, whatever, because I done battled all of those things and I conquered it. I'm an overcomer. And I say that with confidence because it wasn't me.
Right.
When you can overcome everything, grief, everything, you have to just give God that thanks. Like, God, you really did. You really freed me from that. Sometimes I be looking at myself like, God, you did your best one. Because I know it wasn't my strength.
Right.
But I always, anytime I come in contact with somebody, I always want them to know the biggest thing that I've mastered in my journey is learning to yield. Because when I operate out of me, Whitney would come up short every time. Every
Right.
time I've tried to live my life out of my strength, I've come up short. But when I finally said, God, you completely take over. You order my steps. You put me in the rooms you want me to be in. You put me in the career you want me to be in. You put me in every project you want me to be in. When you truly yield, Tyler, oh my goodness, I promise you that place of yielding, you would no longer fall
Mm.
because it ain't you. Because my God will never fail. So I take your strength, God. I take on your mind today. I take on your joy and your strength. And I've been able to make it every day long as I keep that yielding position.
Absolutely, I love that so, so much. Honestly, you're,
Uh,
like, right up in my prayers. You don't even know, girl. If you knew some of the prayers in private I've been
oh,
doing lately, you are
oh,
right up in there because you are
oh,
touching something that, I wish
mm.
so many other people could just grasp.
I'm telling you, Tyler. I'm telling you,
Mm.
Tyler, people don't know the strength in giving it to him. You know, the Bible says that the joy of the Lord is our strength, right?
Right.
And when I went through last year, I went through a very hard season. Just it was just a hard year.
Mhm.
My husband and I, we experienced a miscarriage on our wedding anniversary. It was wild, right?
Right.
And it put me back into a previous season that I thought I had came out of. But I
Right.
want people to be encouraged that it's always purpose in every strategic move that happens. Even the hard moves have purpose. And even though I went through that hard moment, it showed me what needed to be vetted out of me. It showed me that, okay, this was still a prick. It showed me that, okay, I still got some stuff I got to release to
Right.
do that. And at that moment, I did not realize that depression was an option,
Mhm.
that sadness was an option. And somebody was like, what do you mean people don't choose to be depressed? You're absolutely right. People don't wake up and decide to be depressed. But what you can wake up is to decide how you're going to respond to what depression looks like.
Right.
And once I realized I can wake up sad, depressed, angry, broken, and offended, or I could say, Lord, your strength today. Just give
Mm.
me your joy. Because if you give me joy, everything else is going to cancel out. If you just give me joy today, God, I know that I can get out this bed. If you just give me joy, I know that that joy will outweigh any other feeling and emotion. And when you tap into that, I promise you, when them darts come in life and weapons that try to form, they won't prosper what they try to form. You like, ha, I got strength today. I'm flowing in joy, baby. You can't phase me because I'm telling you, it's in the yield. It becomes easy when you yield it. When I tried to, let me tell you, when I tried to lose weight on my own, baby, listen, Tyler, it wasn't going to work because every time I did it, I gained it back because I
Right.
wanted to do it my way. I wanted to do keto because keto allowed me to eat all the cheese and meats I wanted. I wanted to have my comfort in the midst of that. That ain't deliverance, right? You
Right.
got to get delivered and set free so that every area you walk in, you deliver. See, people think I didn't realize that it's a what I teach in my coaching program,
Mhm.
it's levels to it.
Right.
So your first level, you get delivered. Like I said, I got delivered in my bathroom, Tyler. I got delivered that day.
Right.
And then it's the transformation. Deliverance is for you. You get delivered so you're not carrying the baggage of the things that were weighing you down.
Mhm.
After you get delivered, you go through a transformation. Not for you. God ain't have me lose 330 pounds so I could walk around in booty shorts. That was my goal at one point.
Uh,
God didn't allow me to lose 330 pounds so I could operate out of vanity. I didn't come off 11 different medications so I could say, "Who, look, it's me." God gives you a transformation for the world to see. You go through this experience so you can help somebody else get set free. That's
there
why
it
we got
is.
to step up. We got no other choice because you don't know what blood is on your hands.
Mhm.
I think about how many people, 700,000 followers and counting at this moment, had I not said, God, I'm yielded, how many people would I have been accounted for? How
Mm.
many people would have never got started? How many people would still be walking around in their coffin? How many people would be depressed? How many people would still be broken? Somebody got to break the chain. Somebody got to break the curse. And I thought I was a curse breaker for my own family. And yes, I've helped my family lose. My siblings alone have lost 1,000 pounds
Mhm.
together. I got a brother that's down 180 pounds, another brother down 170 pounds, my husband down 180 pounds. All of that is great. All of that is great, and I'm so thankful. But when you tap into it and you go through the transformation, then you tap into a reign and lane of authority.
Mm.
Your mind change. You're no longer thinking the way you used to think. You can take on this new identity of who you are. And once you take on that identity and you walk in authority, that's when you can break chains in other people's family. That's when you can come in agreement with somebody else that's going through some generational curses and you can uproot them because now you're tapping in a lane of authority. When you tap into authority, that means hell know your name. I used to tell people I see coffins. They said, "What are you talking about?" Meaning with certain people, because everybody that's overweight and struggling with something on the inside. Some
Right.
people just ate too much, right? Some people just gained a couple pounds. I'm talking about people who are struggling with the hands of obesity that's carrying things. You're able to see different. When you overcome, you able to see other people that's struggling in that area.
Right.
Somebody come through with a food issue, God lights them up in my life. Go pray with them, right? Somebody come in that I know maybe they struggling with cigarettes. Oh, I overcame that. Let's go pray and break that off. Somebody walk in with an alcohol issue. Oh, baby, I beat that. Let's break it because I was drinking a fifth of alcohol every single day. How
Mhm.
are you drinking, smoking, and eating? I was dying. Like I was addicted to everything. The
Right.
nerve, right? The nerve of that. But I'm telling you, it's a certain freedom, Tyler. When you yield, oh boy, you help other people. It's different.
I tell you what, Whitney, I don't know what you're working on, but I think you might have a second bestseller right there just on the power of yielding. Oh my
Mm,
gosh, Whitney. I
mm,
can I can feel the fire coming through the camera today.
ooh, I'm telling you. Mm, mm,
Ah.
mm, mm.
Alrighty. Well, Whitney, it has been such a pleasure. Now, I know you do so many things, and we could probably spend an hour just going through all the things because you're so involved. But go ahead and take a moment. Tell the people what all do they need to know from you right now today? How can they connect with you? Give us all your platforms. And of course, I'll also link your platforms in the bio down below. So,
Absolutely. Well, you guys know on Facebook, I am Whitney Shalon Franklin Wheeler. That is my largest platform. You can feel free to follow me on Facebook, on TikTok, and Instagram. My name is Big Girl underscore working out.
mhm.
You can feel free to follow me there as well. I do offer coaching sessions if you need one on one accountability. We can do that. If you're looking for group sessions as well, we can absolutely do that. But I am definitely open. Feel free. Don't ever hesitate to reach out. Now, I am a one man army. I do a lot, but it's just me. So I may not respond super fast, but I promise you I will get back to you. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, Whitney, it has been such a pleasure to have you out here on the Beyond Belief podcast. I can't wait till the day I have a studio because I know we're going to have a great time. I know you're going to be back. Thank you, thank you, thank you so, so much for making time to join us
My
today.
pleasure. Anything for you, friend.
Thank you. As for everyone else, y'all have a great one. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.